Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K&B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? It's K&B, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the Sexy Ninjacast. Podcast, vlogcast, for that ass, whatever you want to call it. Or, you know, but it's all about me, my loves, my interests, motivation, just if I want to get something off my mind. And I got a question the other day because there's somebody that creates their own dope content as well, and they're magnificent artists, you know, and they asked me, like, yo, I see you on social media every single day, grinding, putting posts out, putting clips out constantly. And the question was, what's the motivation? And I gotta say, that kind of brought me back because I've kind of gotten into a groove of it's just an automatic, like, boom, record, boom, edit. Boom, put it out there. Boom, put it on the social medias. You know, it just became that. It became a part of my life, like there, you know. And I really had to sit back and question, what is the motivation? What is the next big thing? Where's the road leading to? You know, and I simply said, you know, I do this because I love this, and I think that's where it all boils down to, as somebody who wants to grow as an entertainer, as a person that can edit and everything, because all of this has been DIY. I didn't go to school to do any of this and do audio and stuff like that. Like, if you watch the early projects from the C Plus Studios days, they're very shoddy. The lighting is terrible and whatnot. And I'm not saying I'm full blown Martin Scorsese now. You know, I'm not the best of the best as of yet, but I'm getting there, and it's all about improving yourself more and more and more. I think that just to bring in the New World podcast real quick, it's probably the best version of that show it's ever been. In a very, like, I went back to earlier seasons, and you know, there was a form of what I wanted to do, but now that there's a formula to how I do it, and you know, and people are really enjoying it, and that makes me happy. You know, I got people who don't even like watch wrestling religiously like I do, but they are up to date with what's going on, and they're like, oh, that's cool. Or, you know, even if they don't like wrestling, they like to chime in and stuff like that. So it'd be like, oh, so-and-so still doing this? I'm like, yeah, you know, and that's really cool for me. And that's the motivation is also to getting a reaction from folks. Like, if I make a TikTok and I think it's funny, you know, it's one, you know, that's because people's sense of humor is different from one another. And sometimes you just need to read the environment of how you want to present yourself or how you want to lay a joke and whatnot. Like yesterday, I was at work and I was with a room of people, and you know, I'm always on, if that makes sense. Like, I'm always trying to make people laugh. I'm always trying to make silly comments. I'm always trying to get like a reaction somehow. It's just how I am, you know. And my wife says that she's like, you're always on. Like, when you're outside your bubble, you know, the studio and whatnot and everything, like you know, you're still that Kyle, you know, you're still like, K&B's here, what up, y'all, you know. But I do have my days as well, like everybody else. I'm not invincible or anything like that. I have bad days like all the rest of y'all. I have mental health days where I'm just like, I just don't want to do anything, but I motivate myself to be like, all right, big head boy, get up, record, do something, be productive, you know. And when I'm productive, it makes me feel a lot better. You know, I should motivate that to being working out, but but it's just one of those things where if like Doug texted me the other day, he's like, how you doing? I was like, productive. I dropped 2 podcasts and, you know, dropped them both. I'm redoing the music reviews that I used to do under the name of That Juggalo Vlog, and those music reviews are only exclusively on YouTube. So you can check them out, and all to the artists that have shown love so far for the reviews, thank you so much. They do mean a lot to me because I do look at these artists as superstars, and you know, anytime I meet them too. And I remember I dropped a thing with Doc Gruesome because that was my first time seeing him live and whatnot. I really was floored about how talented he is. And you know, there's another dude, Magnificent T. You know, he follows me on everything, and he's always showing love. And I'm gonna do a music review for him, but he's somebody that I watch elevate. You know, he's somebody that I saw go from a group to being a single artist, and then dropping some singles that are pretty dope. And I'm like, okay, and he's getting artists. I'm like, oh, how'd you get that feature? You know, just like a Blackfoot 505, my boy Irate. You know, I was just like, yo, that's dope, and it's dope seeing all these elements, and it's dope seeing the evolution of this music we listen to. You know, a la Zuilo, Super Famous Funtime Guys. I'm still listening at that album and chomping on every, you know, aspect of it and stuff like that. SON, you know, and Twisted's still doing the damn thing, and I'm so excited for that Chainsmokers 2 album, and I'm waiting for the 6 Jokers card of the second deck, damn it. I'm gonna put that out there still. But music is alive and well. Gibby Stites dropped a song called Mad Hatter that I really enjoyed that I'm going to review, and there's so much music out there, man. I dropped one for Michael Lawless and Matt O'Pelly, a collaboration that I really enjoyed. That song's on constant rotation. If you haven't checked them out, go check out the music reviews and go check out the songs, man. Like, these songs are dope, and I'm glad that I did one for G Moski, and he's like, the fucking man. He called me the fucking man. I was like, yes, that's dope. It's G Moski. I'm such a fan. And, you know, I turned somebody else on, a friend of mine, onto G Moski, because I showed him the song Ignant, and I was like, hey, check out this song, and I took him, I played it, and he's like, you know, we're vibing there and whatnot, and he's just like, oh shit, he goes, okay, he goes, kind of know you listen to dope shit like this. I was like, yeah, I was like, because I you know, I'm not walking in and be like, whoop, whoop, what up, y'all, motherfucker, you know, this is my music, this is what I love, and I'll wear the merchandise, I'll rock it to a T and everything like that, and, you know, that's just the way I am to you know, just how I dress and stuff like that. But it's really cool that he texted me, like, literally we saw each other the next day. He's like, dude, I listened to more G Moski. I went through his discography, and this dude can rap. I was like, hell yeah. I was like, let me show you Lex the Hexmaster. You know, Fire and Lead, this new album that just dropped. And rockin' and a rollin' and a rockin', baby. Oh, I love that song. Dun, 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 dun. I was just like, and that's what that I put out there too. I was like, yo, song, what did I say? Motivation of the year, or song of the year, or my 2024 vibe. I don't know. I put it out there, but it's a dope track, man. If you haven't checked it out, I will do more reviews. And Lex the Hacksmaster's the shit. So, and I met many artists like Cody Manson and stuff like that, Scum, Insane Poetry. So to all these artists, and if I didn't mention any, I'll mention you soon. Even Penta X. Like this, he was one of the first few of the batch of crop of first reviews I've ever did, and we've become really good friends. And he's a dope artist as well. He just had a loss in his family, so just shout out to him. I've been meaning to text you, brother, but I've just been so busy with everything like that. And that's another thing about the motivation part is time. Oh, one thing I hate more in this world than anything is time. I hate rushing. I hate, like, rushing gets me so flustered, and my anxiety level goes through the roof, and my family knows this. They know, like, don't time restrict me. And that's the thing about it, is like the motivation to create something, and looking at the time clock like I'm looking right now, and being like, okay, I got 45 minutes until I need to be to work. So I need to figure out how to edit all this stuff down to a T, get it out there, thumbnail, everything like that, clip, soundbite, boom, social media, boom. You know, it's all about time constraint, and also too, it's learning when you need to stop talking. And when we first started this, it was all about like gaining, like the, just I'm trying to find the word. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find a word, but it's about finding the rhythm. Yeah, there we go. Finding the rhythm of the way you talk and engaging with the audience and stuff like that. And we've gotten some compliments. And when I say we, I mean me and Big Daddy when we did the Social Vent podcast, man. When those podcasts hit, they fucking hit, man, and they were funny, and they were like motivational, and there was some good insights from his view and my view and everything like that. But I've always had people like, man, that episode was okay, but last week's episode, that shit had me dying, or it was so great to hear your perspective on this thing, And that's the same thing that I'm doing now over here, and I get people who are like, yo, the New World podcast, I love the match by match breakdown. I love the little comments in between and stuff like that. It just flows better, and I know what I'm gonna get and expect. And repetition and being not changing things up, and this is the way a lot of people do. You create this, you create the catchphrases, you create the outro and intro and everything like that, and it's like back in the day when I used to like, what up, y'all, it's Kyle Martinez Dashbot here, and this is Philip Magana, and this is the Social Vent. Then we gave ourselves a little bit more stage names and stuff like that, but I gotta say, KMB is much more me than Kyle is. It's one and the same at some points, but there is Kyle who does, has those bad days and sometimes relies on KMB to motivate him to create these things and stuff like that. And I know I sound like I'm talking crazy because I'm talking in the third person and stuff like that, but that's just where I'm at right now. And this question just came out of nowhere. It's like, what's the motivation? And after we talked and whatnot, this person was like, oh man, could you help me with my social media? Could you help me with this? And I was like, yeah, I'm willing to help. I'm willing to show you. And I'm also too, with my job, the day job and everything like that, I took over the social media and the TikToks and whatnot. And I edit them and stuff like that, and get that feeling of, and that's another side of creating and the motivation of making things that people like, because when I was at the day job, I walked in, they're like, yo, I saw that TikTok on the thing. And I was like, oh, thank you. They're like, yo, did you go to school for this? I was like, no. I was like, it's all DIY, all self-taught, especially being a nerd and watching a lot of movies and documentaries and behind the scenes and reading a lot of books. And because that when me and Big Daddy started, it was just like, hey, we should start this thing. Oh yeah. How do we do it? And that first attempt sort of failed. Then we got back up and we did a little bit more research, and I think we're at a better place with each other, and he's doing his thing. The Big Daddy Forever podcast is the shit. You should check it out. It does motivate me because it's awesome hearing him talk about his progression as a writer and everything like that. Also too, what I really like about the Big Daddy Forever podcast is it's his life that he's telling you. He's updating you on things and stuff like that. It's sort of, you're taking a journey with Big Daddy and also getting some great laughs, also getting some great advice at the same time. And I think he's found the niche in that podcast, and it's working out really well. And I love when he does Q&A. So I hope he doesn't get mad at me because this is not a Q&A, but I took a question that somebody asked me, what was my motivation? And as we grow here, and it was funny, as I was talking to my grandma too the other day, and she goes, what you doing? I said, oh, I'm watching wrestling. She's like, oh, you're always watching wrestling. And I sent her a picture of the notebook I write in, and me and her kind of connected on that because write down every single NFL game. She had notebooks upon notebooks of every game for spanning back years because she liked writing the stats. She liked writing all this and that. And she got rid of them. And I was like, oh, Grandma. I was like, oh, it's so cool. But I was like, I'm kind of doing the same thing, but it's with pro wrestling. And I showed her, and, she started laughing. And I was like, yeah, you were the motivation for this, really? Because my memory's crap. So when I have notes in front of me, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I can speak off the dome when I want to, but when I'm talking about something specifically, it needs, I need some context there. And when I have my notes, it helps a little bit better. With the Sexy Ninjacast, it's not that. It's usually off the dome and stuff like that, or if I see something that I want to talk about. But yeah, it's really cool, man. You got to find your own motivation in life. You got to create your own motivation and push yourself. And I will say this morning, I woke up not feeling so great. Like, I feel a little bit blah but I got there and I was like, you know what? All right. I was like, Siri, give me 30 minutes to wake up and everything like that. And she was like, okay, hey, see, look, there she's doing it again. Siri, stop it. Stop.
It's canceled.
Yeah, fine. It's canceled. Jesus. But, and then I was laying there in bed and I can't go back to sleep. Even though I'm like, I'm not feeling great, I'm feeling blah, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get up, I gotta watch this show, and I gotta write it down, and then I gotta get at this, I gotta, and, and that's the word that I stopped, that I really started disliking when I was like, I gotta. No, I want to create this. I want to talk about this show. I want to do this, so I got myself up, dusted my crusty eyes and everything like that, and got over, turned on the boob tube and watched the show and did the thing and dropped it, got the thumbnails and everything like that. And then I told myself, I was like, you know what? Make a podcast too, and I got to shout out to Big Daddy too, because he said he got motivated when I told him, just make a podcast. Just do it. Talk about what you want. And that's the thing about everything in this life, is just doing it. No matter what it is, you go to work or you have a hobby, you like to go do this, you like to paint, you like to just do it, and I know sometimes life sucks. I get that 100% because I've had my roadblocks. I've had those days where it just sucks. It's okay. There's another day to go to. Always think about that. There's always another day. And that was one of those things that I try to keep in mind. And as much as you feel like the world is on fire, you feel like you're in this bubble of like you just can't escape it, you will escape it. It just takes time, which I hate because all wounds need to heal, but there's some wounds that just won't. I'm still grieving and I'm still feeling sad, because I lost my grandfather last year, and it sucks going home and he's not there. But I got grandma. I have grandma right now, so I'm cherishing those moments when we text each other, and we have Christmas with each other, and then we got a big celebration coming up because one of my family members is graduating high school here soon. We're all close in that area, and we're talking about coming up to my work and having dinner and stuff like that. That's a motivation itself too. It's like, okay, we have this thing, we're gonna get together as a family and whatnot, and it's all about time, and time is a bitch. That's just what's so crazy about it too. And I made this podcast mainly out of this question of the motivation to make these things, the motivation to get yourself up. And I'm not telling you go make a podcast or go make a movie or go do what you want to do. You want to go to the Snow Bowl here in Flagstaff, Arizona, and go ski and whatnot because that makes you happy. You want to go hike because that makes you happy. Go do it. And speaking of that, Phil got me a great gift, a gift that I will cherish for the rest of my life, and it says, I hate outside. and I know I need to go out a little bit more, but at the same time, it's the bubble where I'm in my own element. I'm in my own world. I get to watch what I want to watch and do what I want to do and say what I want to say, and talk about the things I love, like Star Wars and stuff like that. Like I could never get enough Star Wars in this life. And that too, like, I was just watching, I was going through TikTok, and TikTok knows me too well. They like to post clips of scenes and stuff like that. And there was a scene from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series where Vader with the half helmet ripped off, and then Obi-Wan, he's like, I'm sorry, Anakin, I'm sorry. And, Vader's like, I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. Telling him like, hey, you didn't kill Anakin. I killed Anakin. And I was like, ooh. Ooh, and I'm like, and I started tearing up. I was like, that's too bad, kill me. It's just like, the emotional tear. Even though I have problems with that show, that battle between those two really pulls at the heartstrings and stuff like that. And that inspired me too to be like, oh man, I should start finishing up this story I'm writing about the Wizards and the Outlaws. And if you've been riding with us from the C Plus Studio days all the way to the Paper Saber Universe days, it's archived. And that's crazy too to think about that. 7 years of my life is archived. I know where I was at. I know when I was fired from a job. I know when I was this. I look at comments and stuff like that. It's just so crazy to look at what social media is and how it's just going to last there forever, especially with the YouTube account going all the way back when the YouTube channel first started. It was just my music that was put up on it. Then that did the Juggalo vlogs, and then we put the social events, and then we started doing all these crazy things all the way up to now. And that was all motivation to get to this point right here where I am sitting and talking to you. So go motivate yourself. I started journaling, but I suck at it because because it's just like I start writing and then I'm like, oh, I want to go do this. This book right here. And my wife got Star Wars Life Day cookbook, and I was like, man, I want to learn how to cook because I work at a restaurant, and I really appreciate the cooks there. Like they know how to cook a steak. I really don't know how to cook a steak. I'm going to admit that right here, right now. I really don't know how to cook a steak, and I watch these guys, and I watch how they create, and it's cool watching a chef make something. And I have a homie named Johnny. He's one of the chefs at work, and he's dope, dude. Like he made this miso salmon goodness, and it's the shit. And it's one of those things. I don't eat fish because I don't like the taste of fish. I'll eat crab legs, I'll eat shrimp, sure, but I don't like fish and I don't like salmon. But this is the only dish in this world, in this existing living plane, I will eat salmon because it has a miso glaze on top of the salmon that they kind of cook to where it's a little crispy, and it has this miso soup, and it has these noodles, and it has this dope mushroom, and it's just delicious, and I'm thinking about it, my mouth is watering. It is, and in this ninja, and I'm calling him a ninja because that's who he is. He created this dish, and I'm just like, whoa! And it took him several tries to get it right, and that's motivation right there, baby. You can look at chefs and the way they make things, and be like, okay, hey, I made this, try it. Well, you got to kind of do this, kind of do that, and then he'll look at it, and then he'll take it, and he'll come back and like, hey, try this, and you taste it, you're like, oh my god, that's fucking delicious. I was there from ground zero to see it now be on the menu. That's awesome. So motivation there. And it kind of motivated me too. So like, I should learn how to cook. Well, before I do that, I need to find what I want to cook. And then my wife got me the Star Wars cookbook. She's like, here you go, big head boy, you and your Star Wars. Hopefully Star Wars can teach you how to cook. And there's also cocktails and mocktails in there too. That I was like, ooh, I want to try that. Ooh, I want to make Wookiee cookies. So there's motivation. Anywhere and everywhere in this world, you just got to look in the right direction. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I love every single one of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the likes and subscribes and comments and everything like that. Let's keep riding. Let's keep rolling. Go check out those music reviews. Go check out the New World podcast. Check out the Sexy Ninjacast in general. Check out our archives too, man. And go and motivate yourself to do what you want to do. And share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB the Sexy Ninja. And remember, stay sexy, ninjas. Whoop, whoop. Welcome to the wicked shit.